Hi everyone, it's James here. Welcome back to Squeeze Fan TV. Please do click the like button if you enjoy the video and consider subscribing. That would be great. It will really help to increase the visibility of the channel. So today I'm going to talk about Chris and Glenn's silver tray, and this is a story which I totally love. I used it in my book Squeeze, the Pop Music Played, which came out a few years ago, and I don't remember now where I got the story from, but there were a couple of different sources for it. Like quite a few of the sources in this book, or the stories in this book, I was never 100% sure whether they were literally true or whether they were just things that Chris had said over the years, you know, to paint a picture of the early days and to be a bit more poetic about it. But I thought it was such a lovely image and such a lovely story that I would use it regardless of whether it was true or not. I mean, you know, the words have come out of Chris's mouth. He has been known to tell this story. So let's just go with it and just, you know, assume that it's true. So it relates to the early days of Chris and Glenn's songwriting partnership, where they'd first teamed up basically in 1973 after Chris left the note in the sweet shop window. You know, we all know the story. So rather than trying to tell you the story in my own words, I'll just read you a short segment of the book because that's the quickest way of trying to, you know, get it across. So there's the actual chapter is called The Silver Tray, and let's just go from here. So by this time, Chris had moved into Lindsay House, Maxine's parents' grand Blackheath home. So this is Maxine Barker, who was Glenn Tilbrook's girlfriend at the time. I'm sure you all know the story. Chris made his nest in a downstairs bedroom which had recently been vacated by Maxine's brother Kent. Chris enjoyed the luxury and comfort of his new pad, but he was overawed by the Barkers' wealth and upper crust lifestyle. By now, Chris and Glenn had established a distinctive pattern of songwriting, along with an endearing ritual to accompany it. Once he'd finished his batch of lyrics, Chris would place them on a silver tray at the bottom of the stairs leading up to the bedroom that Glenn and Maxine shared in the Barkers' large townhouse. Coming down to collect the milk in the morning, Maxine would find the lyrics waiting and take them upstairs to give to Glenn. Chris would then enjoy hearing his friend prodding about on the piano for the rest of the day, or strumming guitar chords while trialling vocal melodies in his sweet-toned voice. As soon as there was a new song to learn, Glenn and Chris would get together at the top of the house. Here, Chris began getting his fingers around chord sequences which were rather more sophisticated than anything he'd encountered before. Freed from the challenge of transforming his own lyrical outpourings into songs, Chris developed a more free-form approach. He tended to write quickly, never with a typewriter, but always with a pen and notepaper. He scribbled out words and inserted corrections as he went, and as he grew more confident, he was often able to begin and finish an entire lyric in one sitting. Anyway, a bit of peripheral detail there, but just the essential idea of the silver tray, that the lyrics would be carried up to Glenn on this on this silver tray. It's just a wonderful story, and I just love losing myself in the idyllic world that must have existed between these two guys early on. You know, later on they had some problems in their friendship, and in fact Chris went on record years later and saying, you know, the really sort of close friendship was almost over by the time the band signed to A&M, you know, because they'd already been writing for a few years. But just that story about the silver tray, I just find it so so lovely. It's just a real symbol of their kind of early friendship and this amazing creative partnership which they had discovered really just quite by chance. You know, that's what's so great about that that first part of the Squeeze story, the way that Chris and Glenn just found each other, and it almost has a sort of fairy story aspect to it. But anyway, maybe in a future video we can get a bit more into that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you in the next one.